Hennapreneurs. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to work alongside me to build your business inside of my program, Hennapreneur PRO? Today, I want to take you behind the scenes where I'm interviewing one of our recent program graduates, Kucala from Artfully Empowered in Minnesota. As she was wrapping up her time with us inside of the program, I touched base with her to chat about what her experience was like, how her business has changed since working with me, and what were her biggest takeaways as a program graduate. You'll get a little bit of a sneak peek of what it looks like to have some coaching with me too. So definitely grab a drink, kick your feet up, and tune in. Tune in to this behind the scenes chat just with her and I. I think that you're really going to enjoy it. Welcome to the Hennapreneur Podcast, the exclusive podcast of its kind, dedicated to giving you an honest look at the realities of making a living as a henna professional. I'm your host, Chelsea Stevenson, a tea-loving, shoe-collecting mother of three in constant search for the most poppin' pair of earrings and the perfect shade of red lipstick. I'm also a professional henna artist and business strategist who went from barely being able to piece together a fluid design to being the owner of the most celebrated henna boutique in my city. I'm on a mission to help henna professionals to harness their skills and grow vibrant, profitable businesses that they absolutely love. If you want to make more money with your art, you are definitely in the right place. Let's get to it.
Oh, Lord, look, I'm all muted over here. Oh my gosh, I even have this thing off.
Oops.
I'm a hot mess today. Can I tell you? Oh my gosh, the kids have me like running around and it's one of those days where you repeat yourself 60 times over. And it's like, are we really doing this, fam? Are we what we're doing? This is the cadence of the day. Okay, got it. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yep.
I'm glad.
I'm here.
I'm glad.
Do the thing.
Well, listen. Okay, so first of all, I'm so happy. Like, I feel like we sneezed and a year went by, and I'm
Yes,
like,
it did.
oh, it is. Yes, and like all of this feels so bittersweet. And also, I know. So I saw your post in the group, and I was like, I'm not going to say anything because like you still have access to the group through the end of the month. So like, even if you want to go to call this evening, we just like I just give you the, and I'm like, just take advantage of it. Like, yeah, like take advantage of it. You're there.
Okay.
Yeah. I was like, I'm not going to say anything. I was like, she'll figure it out.
I just assumed it was the 25th because that's when payments went through. So
yeah, I know. I was like, and so when I saw your post, I was like, oh, and then I got all of my feelings. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to talk to her on Wednesday. I'll just let her know. Like, yeah, take advantage of it. Like, I just give you through the end of the month because it makes it easy for the team. And I'm like, that way you guys can just,
Okay. Good to know.
soak up all the
Good
things.
to know. I'm like, why am I still getting post? I'm like, I'm okay with it, but like,
yeah, it's like, oh my gosh. Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, so I've got a couple. Let's start kind of like from the beginning. So can you tell me about your business like before you joined the program?
Okay. So let's just say pre-COVID. Because
yeah.
pre-COVID. So I worked primarily under other henna artists in the area. And as you heard, there were some very bad experiences with that. But then I've also had really fantastic experiences, which I'm still continuing. But I was very reliant on other people to get business. And that can be good. Like I still do it. So like there's benefit to that. But I wanted that piece where I could feel more independent on how to do this by myself and like figure the thing out and of course I, expressed that wish and then COVID happened and was like, fuck you, of course. Like now you have no other choice.
Oh my gosh.
And yeah, I don't know. I just like, I needed help with like the back end stuff because I'm like, I can do the artsy thing, but like, I don't know how to do anything else. And, so yeah, what am I trying to say? Basically, I didn't know how to do the thing by myself and still you're just very choppy on like keeping records on things. I'm still pretty choppy on that, working on it, but I have more of an idea now. Still need to work on that part, but oh well, it is what it is. But so yeah, that was basically like it just always felt like I had my business for a while, but it never felt solid. It never felt like I always felt like I was a new business owner. I never got to like that confident space where it was like, yeah, I'm a business owner. It just felt very passive. I guess that's kind of the word for everything.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
So so when you joined the program, like what was it then that caused you? What was it that motivated you to choose to join the program? Like what was your primary goal when you came in? Was it that like the independence piece?
It was that independence and because actually when that week I was wanting to go to this art school in Minneapolis, and like it's like a fine art school, and there was this class, and I was like, I want to do this so that because like I started watercoloring
Mhm.
around then, and I was like, I want to like because I was just copying pictures. I didn't have like any of the techniques, and so it's like I want to build on those skills, and I was like, oh, it's gonna be expensive. And then I saw your thing, and like I'd listened to your podcast before, but so I think that's how, like it got in my feed somehow. And so I saw your thing and I was like, oh, wait, hey, honey, so I know this is like way more expensive. It'll show me the back end stuff and like I'll get like way more out of it than like a couple week class, like so much more. And like, and it is my business. So like, that's probably what I should do. And so yeah, gosh, you had a good time.
I
Because it
love
was
that.
like I was just about to sign up for this class, and I'm so glad I didn't because I needed that business, the business side to work on. So,
Yeah.
um,
Oh wow.
so yeah, that's what. Yeah, it was just that independence and getting like, yeah, yep, that's it.
Cool. So, you know, I remember when you joined. When you joined, I was actually sitting at dinner. I was at a restaurant with my husband and I was sitting at dinner and I got this notification. It's like, you know, Joe signed up for pro and I'm like, "Well, that's awesome." You know, but we didn't even have like conversation around it. So like I never got any perspective from your side like what the thought process was. So I'm interested to know like when you first joined the program, did you have did you have any hesitations about working with me? Like, and if so, what were those? Um, if they existed.
Um, I don't think I did. I just, I'm a very like gut driven person, and I just had a good gut feeling. Um,
Mm.
but that's just my personality. And then I have my husband who is more of like the logical skeptic and like holds me down a bit. Like,
That's me. I'm the same. I'm like, this feels good in my gut. And I'm like, I'm just gonna
yeah.
go with the energy around this decision. And he's like, so did you think about any of those? I'm like, it just feels right.
Yeah. He's like, is this a scam? Like, I mean, because you never know with people. And like, I'm like,
Yeah.
no, she's like legit. Like, it's not. I was like, I don't know how to explain it to you. Like, it's not like,
Oh my gosh. I
I was
love
just
that.
like, and so like we had this huge heart to heart. I think I told you about, and I was like, you need to
Yeah.
like trust me. Like, this is my business. I need you to trust that I can make decisions around this.
Yeah.
And so like we both were crying, and like I was like, I'm doing it. So I did it.
I love that. Oh my gosh. I love that so much. I love that so much. Ah,
Yeah, it was a huge trust piece, and yeah, so
yeah. Has he, I have to know now, like, is he like, looking back, is he like, oh yeah, that was the right call? Like,
I haven't talked to him about it, but I mean, I'm super busy right now, so we can't say it's not the right call.
well, there's that. I'm always interested to hear, like, when partners, because, you know, of course, you want to make space for your partner, like, be a part of the decision making process and whatnot. And it's always interesting when you have one partner that's like, I don't know about this. And then it's like, okay, well, did you change your mind? Like, that's why I ask. I'm like, That's just me being nosy." Oh, goodness. Okay, cool.
No, we haven't talked about it because it was just like, yeah, and like and I obviously took my time with the program, and he was like trying to be like, so are you done with it? Like, I mean, take your time, but like, are you done with it yet? That was like the most of our conversation since. But I mean, I guess the other night we did have like so we've been talking about moving to a different state, and he's like, well, I don't know if we should move to a different state because we'd have to restart everything, and like things are picking up for you, and like so we just have to go back to square one, and that's just really overwhelming to think about. And I'm like, well, but clearly I can do the thing, like if I need to.
Yes.
So I don't know. I'm like, I just like it feels like I just got my business going, right? So like I feel like I'm a real business person now. Once I get that back and stuff really tuned in, but you know, I'm bringing in the clients and things like that. So it would suck to redo it, but I'm like, I'm not that far along. I could I could do it again if need be.
No,
I'm
absolutely.
always
I
gonna
mean,
restart it.
yeah, like I just think about like even myself having picked up and moved. Like I've moved my business now 3 times across country, and
Mhm.
so like, you know, moving and restarting, it is overwhelming. But like if you feel like moving is the right move, is like the right choice for your family, dude, it's totally doable. Like it's totally doable. And the beautiful thing is,
Yes.
you'd really do like the foundation's already there. You know what to do. And because you know what to do, when you get there, you can be that much more strategic about like mapping it out from the get-go rather than like, you know, like
Mhm.
floundering around trying to put the pieces together. So I offer that just to say like
Right.
if y'all are really thinking about it and you feel like that's the next best step for your family, like don't let this be what holds you back. You can totally relaunch again.
There is the part where I usually work evenings and weekends though.
Mhm.
And um so we'd be going to where we don't have that family support if
Mhm.
need be. So that's where he's really caught up, and I'm like, but I could do more of my like finish my postpartum doula certification, and like, you know, it's flexible hours and things like that, but he has not caught into that. So um that would be a part we need to figure out,
Yeah.
is doing the schedule, 'cause people don't really want henna during the day usually, so 'cause they're at work
Yeah. Does he
making the money
normally
to
work
give
in
to
the
me.
evenings? Yeah.
No,
Is
he
he
works
normally
during the day, so he works during the day, so I would work during the evenings. And
Mhm.
so like if we want to, he plays disc golf, so if he ever wants to go disc golfing, like that would, and you know, and then we want actual family time together. And so, you know, um yeah, it would just be less cushion if something else is going on or whatever. I don't know. Once again, he's the
Yeah.
skeptic. Logic's everything to a pulp.
Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, you guys will find what works for you for sure. Like that part, that's just you know, like living it. You know what I mean? Like action and clarity, you know? So once you do it, then you figure it out. And you figure out what works and
Yes,
what
and that's what
doesn't.
I'm trying to say to him. Like, you just gotta trust that it's gonna all work out, and he's not as trusting.
He's like he's like, if you could show me some data first though, that'd be great.
Yeah. Where are the spreadsheets?
Yes. Exactly. Oh my gosh. I remember when I first like when I went full time. It was 2014. It was when I went full time. It was when I had Maya. And
Mhm.
that was the first time that my husband was like, "You need hours of operation." And I was like, "But I don't really." And he's like, "You do." And it was for the same reason though. Like we didn't have a lot of like support. And so to be able to balance the kids back and forth and like he would come home and then I would leave and then I'd go and I was still nursing. So I was
Mm.
at a coffee shop that was very close by. So I'd go and I'd work and then I'd come back home and I'd nurse and then I'd go back and see my clients again. And like there was so much like moving around and we didn't have a lot of time for like the collective family time and hobbies and all that. And so that's where he really started to like nail down. He's like, "No, you need hours." And I remember like the first time that I put together this little like, you know, like a graphic saying, "Okay, I've got hours of operation now," and feeling so like official with that. And I blew through those hours. Like I just totally acted like they didn't exist, but it was out there and that meant something to him, you know, it's like I was trying.
Yeah, there's
But
an effort.
yeah, yeah, it's so funny. It's so funny. But no, like now I definitely in my own business, like now I definitely have make space for that. So like even at the boutique, I only work Tuesday through Saturday. So Wednesday through Saturday. I actually took Tuesday off earlier this year because soccer. The kids, all three of them were playing, and we had to be at different fields on some of those days. So Tuesdays I just totally removed. So now I only work from Wednesday through Saturday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday being in the evening, and then Saturday being during the daytime, to wrap up by
Mm.
like 2 or 3 o'clock. And then in the evening for Saturday, that's reserved for private parties. So if I'm not hired on for a party on those, like during the evening times, then Saturday night's family time and Sunday is always family time. So
Nice.
that's what it looks like for me from a practical perspective, because we're in the same place right now. Like we don't have family here, and I'm very distrusting with like the care of my children. Very distrusting. So we always
Mm.
they're with him or they're with me. And so, but that's what it looks like for me from like a practical. I'm like, you guys will find a thing. You'll find what works.
Yes, it's hopeful to hear. It's hopeful to hear.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, okay. So enough about me. So tell me then, like, well, yeah, can tell me more about like what your business is like now. But you said that things have picked up for you in many ways, and like you're getting busy and like you've seen that
Mhm.
change. So yeah, what do things look like for you?
Um, Now um obviously I'm getting all those fucking bridals, and I actually have one tomorrow that I'm doing all day, and I need to send her a design today.
Mm,
Um, but I'm getting calls for, I've been working so much, and it's really great. And I've only done, with all that have been busy the past few weeks and coming week or two, um, I've only done one festival for someone else. So
ooh,
all the rest is me doing the thing. So, which is super cool and like way different than ever. I'm still, I did end up setting more times, and the coffee shop location.
mhm,
Um, but I still haven't gotten any individual appointments like we talked about a week or so ago.
mhm.
Um, but that's okay. I don't know. Those are right now. Those are seeming like busy work.
In
So
comparison to bridal bookings,
I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah. Um, I still think I need to go narrow down what I'm doing more. Because someone actually called me the other day and was like, "Hey, I saw you just did this bridal for this gal," and I think she was like going like I think she's attending the another wedding, and she's like, "I want henna for myself and like some aunties and things like that." And she went on Wednesday, but I didn't have Wednesdays open for like group events. I think I had them open for individual appointments. So I don't understand that part yet, how I should do that
Mhm.
for parties versus individual appointments. But anyways, she wanted on Wednesday and I didn't have anything open. And I was like, "Oh, sorry about that. I'll go open that up for you. Like, give me a second."
Yeah.
um, but she actually never booked because she wanted me to use the fresh henna from India that's being shipped over right now. And I'm like, "Well, actually, no, because, my insurance doesn't cover that. I make my own. It's organic. It stains very well.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of the paste I make. I
Yeah.
don't use anything else." She's like, "Well, we were hoping to cut down on cost or something with it." I was like, "Nah, girl, you'd have to pay like triple the amount." I didn't say that, but like, no,
Oh my gosh. Well, that's it's
no.
fascinating to me. It's like that would be you want to reduce costs, so you want different pace? Like what is it?
Right. Like that's nothing.
No,
That's
you're
not
paying
gonna do
for
anything.
the
It's
skill.
skill.
Right, right. Hello. Oh my
Yeah, I
gosh.
was like, if you like my work, then that's what you're paying for. So I'm like, whatever, I don't care. So but then another party booked for the next night last night. I just got a notification that I had a party booked for 8 to 10 people, and but
I love that.
they only signed up for an hour and a half. That was my biggest gathering, and now I'm like, how much time do I have to do? Because they're like, well, can we have another artist on there? And so I have to figure that out today too and call them back because I can't do 8 to 10 people in an hour and a half. So I'm sure they're going to want bigger pieces,
With
right?
party
I don't
style?
know.
No, an hour and a half is plenty for
I
party
don't know what
for
style they want. I think this I don't know what they want because they didn't
uh
contact me beforehand. They just booked
mm,
it, and that's actually that I still am having anxiety about people booking without contacting me first because like I
yeah.
don't know what they're really wanting,
Uh-huh.
and I'm assuming it's for you know a a wedding, so they're gonna want bigger pieces, or maybe everyone wants two hands or something like
Mhm.
that. So I don't know if that's enough for that enough time for that much many people. I don't
So
know. And I have sped up. Like I've been at these festivals, I really found my speed again.
I love it.
I
There
don't know.
there are a couple of things that I want to offer you there. Okay, so the first thing was with bookings. Like, so in the booking system, I know you said the difference between like groups and like having it actually as a group, a category, or just having a booking and like that's what the group just books. So that's what I prefer. When you go into Acuity and you create your service suite, one of the offerings that you can have is like group 4, and then you put the number of people that you can service during that time frame. When you do that, then it's going to allow one person to put the one booking on the calendar to reserve that one time slot, whatever that is. If you use the group
Yep.
option inside of Acuity, it actually, while it works, in some ways it works. So there's two different ways that you could do this. The way that it works forward facing is if someone has access to that link, anyone can book for that group. So you could have someone who's like, oh, I'm coming with a group of 4, and you're like, okay, awesome, here's the link. Those 4 people sign up, or 3 people sign up, and then some rando down the street also decides that they want to come in, and they're like seeing it as like open hours, so then they book in too, and all of a sudden you have this stranger who's sitting in who's booked in to come with these other 3 people, you know. So you don't want, if you
Mhm.
use the group functionality, you wouldn't want it to be public facing. You would want to keep that as a private link on the back end, where because it's not published, no one can actually see it. They would have to contact you, and then you send them the link saying, here, this is where you can book in for whatever time frame. So that way only that person and their guests could make their reservation. When you do it like that, that would be like to set the group up for per person payment. So that's, her and her 4 friends. She's got the link. I'm paying for me. And those other 3 are paying for themselves. This is the link. Go book for this time. Right. Um, does that make sense?
I don't think that's what I'm doing, but I think I
Okay. So that's one option. That's not what I
okay.
suggest. But if you wanted to do it that way, where you're using the group's functionality inside of
Okay.
Acuity, that's what that would look
Okay.
like. And that's how I would suggest doing it.
Okay. I don't think I've seen
Alternatively,
that. I'll have to dig around more, but not that I need to.
yeah. Yeah, so like a groups thing, it's like I think they have it listed as groups or like classes, one of those things.
Oh,
Is
yeah, I have seen that. Is this a group or a class?
That's what that means. So it really does, if it's public facing, anyone can sign up for that time slot. That's just why I say you want to have it be a private listing. But
Okay.
also that's one of those situations where Acuity is going to allow them to charge per person. So you could have like, okay, if you have a group of whatever, it's going to be X amount per person, and you can cap it at however many people per group. And then those, they can then share the link amongst themselves to have everyone reserve their spot inside of that container.
Okay.
Um, I prefer to have it just much more simple. So what I have at the boutique is like group number. So I say this is a number of guests, Henna for 2, for 3, for 4, for 5, whatever. And it's just, there's the full price. I don't care which one of y'all books it, but it's one booking, one payment, one time slot. I don't have to worry. And then that makes it so that I can have it public facing, so there's no concern about anyone else like inadvertently signing up for a slot that's intended for one particular group.
Okay.
Okay. So
And I
that's
I so that's what I've been doing is just have the one price for a certain amount of people.
mhm.
But I'm realizing I think where my snag is I think I need to separate it so that birthday parties are separate because I could do a lot more smaller pieces for a birthday party versus, gals who are wanting henna to go to a wedding or something.
Mm-hmm. Well, and
Because or
you
otherwise I don't know how to word that in there.
that may be so,
That just
but
seems so.
that also might just be your perception, right? That may be so, but it also may just be your perception. Like, do they really want more for the weddings, or do you have a photo of what they can anticipate going alongside of that listing in Acuity?
I do have lists. I do have photos on it. Yes. And I think they're like smaller, like kid size
Mm-hmm.
pieces. But I think I just need to go in there and fine tune it.
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah.
Because you could definitely have you could have it in there where you have like a listing that's for general party henna and like have the image that's just showing like a party strip, and then you could have a separate listing for like more in-depth whatever, and be sure that you show that image that's showing the more of the coverage that they could anticipate.
Right.
Alternatively, you could have it still under one listing where it's like henna for 5 people, for example, and the image shows the party strip. And then what you could do is inside of Acuity, the add-ons feature, you could use the add-ons feature for them you can create an add-on, which will add on like an additional fee. And using that feature, you could have it like upgrade to full hands, right? Like upgrade to full hands.
Oh.
And when they click that checkbox, it will add whatever that additional fee is to their total. And so then you'll know also when it comes in on your booking side, okay, a group has scheduled for henna for 5 and they have an add-on of full hands. So that can allow you the space to also be aware. The only thing that would be a little bit of a hang up there is that the add-ons feature, it adds on price, but it doesn't add on time. So if you wanted to use that just checkbox instead, you could test it instead of creating a full separate listing. You could test it and see how it works.
Okay.
But perhaps if you're in doing that testing, you might consider adding on like additional padding on the back end of your appointments just for scheduling purposes.
Right.
So that you are sure that like you have plenty of time. So there's that. And then
Okay.
the third piece that I was going to offer is like regarding the time container. Honestly, for a group of 10, even if they were wanting party style designs, what I like to plan for is on average party style designs is like somewhere between 12 to 15 per hour. So even if you had a group of 8 to 10 people, if you're booked for an hour and a half, that's plenty of time for you to be able to knock it out. How I have things set up for my guests, because I don't make a distinction whether it's a large design or a small one. When they come in for group appointments at all, I give them the choice. We can do one full hand, or you can do 2 party style hands. Which would you prefer? And so they feel like they, have autonomy in that decision. And if they really want to have 2, they can have the 2. But I know that it takes me about the same amount of time to do one full hand versus 2 party hands. So it kind of puts the ball back in their corner, and then they can decide what they value more.
I needed that reframing because I'm like, well, yeah, I can do 15 really quick things for kids. So I think if I put like an hour and a half, I could do 10 to 15 people. And I could say either one full hand or 2 party strips. Would I put that on the listing?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or would I just say that in person? Okay.
I put it on the listing.
Okay.
I put it on the listing because it makes it easy for them. They can, okay.
Visualize, yeah.
And just for them to kind of have that idea. And then whoever is actually doing the booking, then they can share that information with whoever else is coming with the group. So literally when they sit down, I just ask them, okay, so hey, I'm so glad you guys have gotten here. Like whatever. I want everyone to know, we're working on hands today, but you have choices. So these are your choices. Do you want to do one full hand, or you want to have 2 smaller hands? And I let them know, like, if we do a full hand, it's 2 inches above the wrist down to all fingertips. If we do it as a party strip, it's going to be like a strip style design that goes from the wrist to 1 finger. And normally I'll put a little bit of an accent finger just because I like to have extra fun that way. And everyone laughs. They all laugh. I don't know why that's funny, but everyone laughs whenever I say that. And then they pick, and it just works like that. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that was good reframing in my brain.
Yeah. I'm glad.
Okay. Thank you.
You're so welcome. So how else?
Let's see. Otherwise, how things are going right now?
Yeah.
I'm just doing a lot of that fine tuning stuff right now. A lot of that. Now
Mhm.
that I'm getting a better idea of like what practically and in reality how things are coming in. Um,
Yeah.
so that's been going well. Um, Going well. I don't know. I mean, it's confusing, but I'm also, yeah, it's solidifying and getting a better understanding of like bridal packages. That's kind of like my next like beast to tackle is just like I would like to have like a sheet laid out visually
Mm.
for myself and for clients just to like, okay, hey, this is what you can expect for $200. This is what you can expect for $400.
Mhm.
Um, and is like $200 minimum. Does that sound reasonable?
I
For
would.
item?
I think that my minimum is I just raised it. It was 275. I think that now it's actually 375 for bridal.
Okay.
Um yeah, because I mean anytime you're sitting with a bride, you're looking at on average 2 hours at minimum. So I'm my party rate is also 2 hour minimum, so I just started there. Like if I'm going to work for 2 hours, it's 2 hours. Like,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
yeah.
That might be my next step, but I think for now, I'll probably start with hour and a half party. I got to get rid of my smaller one. Um, but yeah, that's a future Joe next step
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. I love that.
So yeah, yeah, like I said, I'm just doing a lot of fine tuning and just um, building up that confidence and um, holding on to things and yeah, I don't know. I'm working.
I love it. Yeah. So okay, so
So,
I know like inside of the community obviously like we share a bunch of wins in the inside circle. And but oftentimes like there are other things happening in the background that like we don't share. So I'm interested to know if you could tell me like more about the results that you've had since we started working together like over the past 12 months.
the results.
Mhm.
Um,
Well,
I don't know how to elaborate more on that. I'm sorry.
oh yeah. No, you're fine. So I'm wondering if there are actually here, let me reframe the question a little bit because we've talked a little obviously already about like just the increase in independence and these new bridal bookings that are coming in and like having a more solidified thing and even just you feeling like, oh my gosh, I've got a business now. Like that's huge. But I'm wondering if there are any other ways, like in what other ways have you benefited from your time inside of the program? And that could
Oh,
be like from the business side or from the life and just like general individual perspective.
right. I liked hearing everyone else's like wins and losses, and it just felt more realistic because it's really easy to see other henna artists online, just like, oh, look at all these videos I'm posting and look how amazing and I can practice every day and do great. And so it was nice having a little bit more realistic perspective um of what it's actually like day to day and other people who are struggling with mental health and things like that. I've also just kind of like as I've gone through the program, I started off in a pretty deep depression and
Mhm.
I kind of had some ups and downs during it. So that's why I would be quiet, um, when I was quiet, that would be wise because like I couldn't do anything. And so now that I've been able to clear myself of that and recover, I have been able to see like at first I was like I was feeling better, but I was like, I'm still not working. Like that's because like I didn't have the energy to. I didn't have any energy to actually put the effort in. So then um but now that I am I'm getting stuff in, I'm able to like handle it and take it with stride rather than getting overwhelmed with it and everything. And so it was just nice seeing everyone else kind of going through similar things and um panicking about things and I'm like, I panic about that too. And bouncing ideas off each other was really nice. And I'm gonna really miss the group just being able to ask like those questions that I don't exactly want the rest of the world to know. Like have that group perspective, but not like, oh hey, person who lives in a totally different country who like it's like you charge that much for that design, like so like well yes because
Yeah.
my area allows for that and like so it's yeah it's nice having that positive, upbeat, even if I resisted that sometimes.
Total resistance. Like I was, oh my gosh. I remember early on, I was like, Joe is going to just say no to everything that I'm saying. Like, she's got a rebuttal for everything, but I love it so much. I know, honestly, I love it so much. First of all, one, because it's like super, it's exciting. I love a challenge. So I'm like, Joe, you will learn this. I will get in this. I will and also too, because oftentimes like there's often like mindset stuff that's happening in the back end that keeps us from making like seeing the full picture. So it's like when you have someone who questions all the things, it's not a bad thing. Like if anything, it's like, okay, how can it pushes me too, as like it pushes me to be able to come to the table and say, okay, how can I reframe this or restructure this or convey this in a different way that makes the dots connect.
I'm good at that, I guess.
Yeah, I loved, like, I loved, honestly, I love that part, about working with you. Like,
okay, well, good.
Yeah,
I didn't realize I was known for that, but I guess it makes sense.
I mean, you come in guns blazing, you're like, and so I'm a rebel. I'm like, yes, you are. That's correct. Oh my gosh. No, but, and I say it like, I say it from like total love and admiration. So it's good feedback. It's good feedback.
Yeah. I frequently have to talk with my husband. Like, once again, he's a spreadsheets guy, like coming up with our budget for the family, which we still haven't agreed on. But he's like, he wants to do like the spreadsheets and this and break it down this really weird fucking way. And I'm like, but why not just write it down on paper right here? Like, I need to write it down here and I need to break it up in this way. And he's like, no, we have to go over this way. And I'm like, okay, I get it. We have the same goal, but my brain is over here and your brain's over there. We need to do it. I need to do it this way. I can't do it that way. And you need to be okay with that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So we have different brains. They work different ways. Conversations. So, but it seems like there's several gals in the group who also have brains who work a different way, and lots of them. So I think that's what drives us to be in this program, is because we haven't been able to figure out, as neurotypicals do. We need that slight adjustment to that reframing.
Oh, I love that. Actually, that makes a really great segue actually into something that what I'd love to know too, like just as it relates to the program delivery and whatnot, like from your perspective, how engaging did you find the program delivery to be? Specifically as it relates to like the content, the coursework that's provided there.
It was good. Yeah, I liked it. Of course, I was like, go at your own pace, and it was hard at first, but it was good that each one didn't open up. So like I couldn't jump ahead anywhere, go see what this is all about, or it like I had to go through the steps as it was structured to be. So I did enjoy that. The content was good and kept me engaged, and yeah, I liked it.
Cool.
I don't think I used the printouts for each module. I didn't really use those. I don't know why, but I would catch myself like almost every time, like using the first page or two, and then I would kind of lose it on that. I don't know why.
That's fair. That's fair. I used to actually have a question specific to that, like where I would ask about like, how did you find the workbooks to be? But it's so interesting. It's really, honestly, it's not even a matter of if the workbooks are useful or not. They're useful for some people and for others, they're not. Like there are so many different learning styles. That's why I really like to know like how it kept you engaged, or if it kept you engaged, because I really do try to make sure that all of like any program that I create, that there's something to make it applicable and really accessible for everyone, regardless of what that learning style is. So
I did really use the one where we did the money mapping though. That one was really great. I was really confused at it at first, and I was resistant. I was like, fuck you, but then I liked it.
Rebel. See, look. I'm not doing this. No.
It's like, that doesn't make sense. How am I supposed to do this? And then it happened and was like, oh, okay. So,
Oh my gosh. I love that so much. I love that.
got me there.
Okay. So let me ask you then, like, well, I mean, I feel like we've touched on it quite a bit. So let me ask you this. Would you, moving forward, like, would you recommend Hennapreneur Pro? And if so, why and to whom would that be?
Yes, I would. And I'm already glad to see a couple of my friends have joined. Not that I never talked to either of them beforehand, but yeah, I do absolutely recommend it. Because it really did kind of help me launch off and I don't think I worded that properly, but help me get my feet off the ground and do my thing and build that independence where, because like one of my friends, she works under a lot of different artists as well, and so it's nice seeing her bloom and get her independence that she so desperately um, craves as well. So and that's just like a lot of people around here. Who are just, I mean, we like in my area, we have like a really good community for the most part. So it's, we're able to bounce off each other, but yeah. But I also see a lot of hen artists who haven't found that confidence and, to do it themselves. And it's really hard to find that push yourself when all you see for work opportunities is working under these big people.
Mm.
So, and there's just so much more to henna than that. And it's way more fun and it's not so, doesn't have to control your life. So,
Oh, I love that part about it not having to control your life. Yeah, I'm like, that's what, because I do. I'm like, it's so important, like, to have the work life harmony, and if it's like, if the systems aren't in place, it really does take over your time, your schedule, like your ability to be a whole person.
right. Well, they're
And I'm
like,
like,
oh yeah, I'm just going to go be gone from my city for like the next 2-3 months. Like, what?
yeah,
I can't do that.
absolutely,
Who the
and
hell
have
can
no
do that?
desire to. Right? I'm like, that's a pass for me. For me, that's a pass.
No,
You know.
that's no. So yeah, I mean, if that works for them, great. But anyone with like a partner or kids or any other sort of job or life,
Yes.
friends or things that you would like to be around, that doesn't work. And I think that time frame is short for people
Mhm.
that it does work for, and they need to know that there's more to it than that. So, yeah, but it's beneficial for other people who aren't doing that. Obviously, people who are new to it. Obviously, am. I've been doing henna professionally for like the last 7 years. Still, finally, just got myself off the ground, um, but that's okay. But yeah, so it's for one and all. And I like that. It's a new perspective, and I love all the good vibes. So, and it just
Oh,
having that is really important.
definitely,
Beneficial.
definitely. What would you say? What would you say is the most important thing that people should know about working with me inside of the program?
It's just really fucking positive and uplifting,
Oh,
aggressively positive.
I love that. Oh my God, that just gave me like the lump in my throat. No, don't make me do that. Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Whether you
Aggressively
like it or
positive.
not.
It's gonna be a positive experience, one way or another. If I have to shake you, oh my gosh, I love that. Cool.
Yeah, and it brings the tight knit community to you, and yeah, it was just a safe space.
Is there anything that you would like to add, or anything that you would want me to know about your experience inside, about
Mm.
anything that can be better implemented, better developed, better delivered, or anything that you're like, I really love that, and I want you to know, like,
Um, oh gosh, I don't know. Anything specifically? I mean, I liked it all. That's it.
Fair.
Joe Kucala quote. I liked it all.
I liked it all. Period. I'll put him an emoji. I'll put it with a flat face, like the flat face.
Nice, period.
It was nice. Don't say nice. It's triggering for me. I'm like, nice. That's not what I was going for.
No, it was.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just trying to think back. So, yeah, I really appreciate being in the group, and I appreciate all your aggressive, positive love and dealing with me. And
oh no, are you kidding? I've so enjoyed you. So enjoyed you. You have no idea. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right.
Awesome.
So,
thank you. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Thank you so much for taking the time. This has been such a great time spending this past year with you.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome.
I'm gonna get all emotional. I'm supposed to go hike tonight, and I was gonna celebrate, do a big henna, and then of course I was gonna promote like, oh my gosh, I'm just celebrating my end of year with Henna Pro, and go do the things with her because she's amazing. So I already have a plan to promote. So
I love it. I love it. I love that. Go and celebrate the thing. That's beautiful. That makes me so happy. And keep an eye out because I have the things going your way too. Because I noticed like at the last minute, I was like, this chick slid in at the last minute with her graduation. The graduation. Yeah, I was like, did she just finish the accelerator? I don't think so, but okay, whatever. But no, I'll send, so I've got that coming out your way too. So keep an eye out for the mail.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right, babe. You're so welcome. All right. Bye.
And there you have it, friends. I hope you enjoyed tuning into that little discussion between Joe and I. Obviously, I had a wonderful time chatting with her and even more fun working with her over the past year. If after tuning into this conversation, you feel like, hey, Hennapreneur Pro might be something that works for me too, I want to invite you to come and join us inside. We'll be opening registration for the final time in 2021 just later on this month. So if you haven't already, be sure to join us in the Facebook group where you'll be able to get first updates for when doors open and more about what's included inside. I hope to see you there. Bye for now.
Hey friend, I just want to give you a quick thank you for tuning into this episode of the Hennapreneur podcast, and I hope that you're really enjoying connecting with me in this way. You can find links to all of the content shared today in the show notes located at hennapreneur.com/podcast. If you enjoyed the show and would like to stay in the loop with Hennapreneur, be sure to subscribe to the podcast too. You'll get access to all of the new episodes and to surprise bonus episodes as well as soon as they're released. I'd be so grateful to you if you take a moment to rate and leave a review on Apple Podcasts as well. This helps me to reach more artists like you who would love and benefit from the show. For more ways to connect and work with me or to join me inside of the Hennapreneur community, pop over to hennapreneur.com. I can't wait to support you as you chase your big, audacious goals, one henna design at a time.